So up from exercises, we're going to move to circuits. Circuits really is just your list or your grouping of exercises. Depends on how whether it's a training block, a circuit. It doesn't necessarily mean it's circuit training. It's just the next category up. So this could be your warm-ups, your cool-downs, any other circuits or groupings of exercises that you're going to build. When you do open it up initially, you have your menu of our pre-created circuits and everything like that you can reference. This is really just having a template so you can find out what you can do. So you can look at these circuits and see different set progressions and different supersets and everything like that. I'm going to create a new circuit. And I'll just, again, give it a circuit title. I'm just going to call it demo circuit. And from there, I can categorize this out of the box. We have our circuit categories. Now, this is something that you can customize. If you want to contact your support rep, we can add different circuit categories to this platform for you. So if you have something, a different category or a different type of exercise or type of circuit that you use, you can ask us to add this to the system so that you have it down the line. And again, that just allows you to filter through your lists of exercises from there. But for the sake of this, I'm just going to call this a strength circuit. And I'm going to go ahead and hit my add exercise button. This gives me the option to go to my exercise library, where it's a fully customizable exercise library again. So you can either grab something that you've already created. I usually recommend that you create your exercises first, but if there is something while you're building a circuit that you don't see, you don't have to leave the circuit builder. You can just click on this button up here in the top and create a new exercise. But for this, I'm just going to grab a few exercises. Might not be the most well-built circuit, but you get the idea. So from there, once I've added my exercises to my circuit, I can then go ahead and customize the rep ranges, the constraints, and everything like that on each of these. If I click on an exercise, it'll bring up what I have prescribed out of the box, out of the library, and this will allow me to change my sets and reps. So maybe I've got 4x10. Like I said, you can add your weight. If you see an exercise and you want to change the constraints on it or anything like that, what I can do is hit my options button here, this 3 dots, and I can change the properties on it and add something else. So maybe I don't want this to be a weight-based exercise. Maybe I want it to be a duration exercise. So hit OK. I can add different notes to this exercise for 30 seconds and rest for 45. Whatever it is, whatever your notes are, you can add that. Or what you can do is obviously add it into the duration pane there that you already added in. Other options on your drop down here is I can add a rest. The options here for customizing rest, once I hit this, it brings me up a dialog box where I can either do between sets or say I want you to rest after the exercise. So as a coach, you have the option to do one or the other. It can be athlete chosen rest, where if the athlete finishes a set, they hit their check mark saying that they've completed that set of that exercise. They time their rest. It reports, you can see that on your completion report, or you can say, as the coach, I want you to rest for 45 seconds between each set, add it, and it drops it in there in a set progression where you have 30 seconds of work and 45 seconds of rest. So it saves you some time, it saves you a few clicks, and from there, so you can move on to the next exercise here. You can change the constraints again, or what you can do is if you want this to be a set progression, I can go ahead and create a set progression here after I hit my 3 dots. And from there, I've got a few different tools. I can still change my properties on the exercise. So I can say it's going to be a duration, or maybe it's going to be an RPE type exercise. I can hit OK. I can customize that and say I want you to work to an RPE of 8 for 4 reps, whatever it may be. I can then either just copy it down to add my sets in here, save some time again. If I want it all to be the same, I can also click on my plus button here and add a rest to the end. And all this stuff can be reordered simply by just clicking and dragging on these 2 lines here, moving things around. And again, you can customize that rest, whatever it may be, create your set progression. Maybe it's going to be a different RPE for each set. You have full customizable capability here, working through those set progressions. So if I hit save here, you can see this set progression that I've thrown together like a Frankenstein will show up here, and you can see how it works. The other tools here that you can use is simply reordering. Just hit the 4 arrows. If I hit that on any exercise, it'll allow me to place it after a different exercise on the list. So if I want to move this exercise after this exercise, all I do is click my 4 arrows, I drop it in, and you're good to go. You can preview videos by hitting the preview button. It just brings you what that video may be. And then last but not least, we can make a superset through here, or remove. So if I make a superset, it's going to bracket the one exercise. So right now it's a superset 1. If I want to superset 2 exercises together, I again grab my 4 arrows and just go ahead and drop it in. And now both of these are bracketed together. Little recommendation, it might be, pretty self-explanatory, but you want to have the same amount of sets so that your superset for the athlete bounces back and forth in the proper way. But again, once it's in the superset, you can change your progressions, you can change how it looks, what the constraints are, and everything like that on that exercise after you've put it in those brackets. Last thing, I obviously just hit save after I create my circuit, so I have it locked in. Now this is a new template that I can drop into any program.